Good morning. Now, I know it looks like a bomb went off in this place. I was searching for those base plates, the bottom plates for the springs, so that I could do a bit of a mock-up. After 2 hours, it is day 5 of my 36 Chevy Coupe suspension swap back to stock, if you know what I mean. So today's challenge, I want to try and get the rear axle under the car and then hook up some form of mockery to see where it's going to sit height-wise. So I think I'll be making a couple of lowering blocks and I'll show you those bottom plates I found. So here they are. Aren't they just delicious? Now obviously completely unusable. These had to be adapted for a previous mock-up, so that's not going to work, but at least I should be able to get the axle under the car fitted to the body, to the springs, and it'll give me an idea of how far back the axle needs to be and how high or low, and obviously where I need to mount my shock absorbers onto a plate, not this plate obviously, but it's something to work with, something to go forward with. I'm thinking possibly, let's say I have a bolt coming out. Let me grab a bolt. Like this. Let's say there's a bolt welded onto this plate coming out, say there or there, wherever it needs to go. And the lower shock mounting will slide in there, and then the shock absorber will go up the way. But as I say, this is all really just to give me an idea of what I need to buy and modify. So step one, put all this stuff back in the corner, I guess. Right, that stuff's back in the corner. Let's have a look at how this is going to go together briefly. So the bottom plate will be under here, and then the top of the spring will be a block, not that block though. Top of the block will be your axle perch, and then the axle tube goes on there, gets welded on at the right spot. As you can see, it's kind of sloping that way, but that's probably because the car's sloping that way. But also straight away you can see that this is not centered. I think that is possibly the center of the arch. I'm not sure yet, we'll find out. But it's highly probable that I'll need to, when I make these blocks, I'll need to actually mount them over there to bring the axle back so that the wheels are sitting centered in the fenders. Let's have a look at my bits and bobs. Got my new U-bolts. I need to adapt these a bit further because there's no hole in the center. So I'm going to just chop out a wee square. Again, temporary, don't panic. Got my other axle perch, other block, got my shocks, and here's a diagram just to show what I was talking about. So that's your leaves, plate at the bottom, pin goes through the leaves and sticks out through the bottom plate, also goes into this block, that's the lowering block, axle perch, axle tube, U-bolts. There you go. So Peter Straub suggested, before I go any further, I should jack up the spring and see where the shackle goes. It goes forward, back, straight up, whatever. Let's give it a shot. I'm kind of curious myself. Even drilled a hole in the wood so that it's perfectly centered. Maybe I could use that as a lowering block. Be nice and spongy. It's going backwards. Wow, So that's how flat it goes before it even starts lifting the car. That is a good thing. Right, I'll put it back down and get back to what I was doing, which was, I can't remember. Oh yeah, I was going to modify these. You know what? I am actually going to grind this plate off. I had to extend these because they had to fit the 3-inch diameter tube. So I'm not happy with these welds even for mock-up purposes, so I'm going to grind them off and then cut this section out and then just weld in these little plates. And then grind it down and then we're ready to test fit. Modification complete. My U-bolts still fit in, which is nice. So they go at the bottom and then the spring goes over the top, and then these would go over the springs, and then these would go over the axle and all the way down through there, one at either side, like so. So these plates will need to be redone properly anyway with, well, proper plates, because my leaves are narrower than that. So the holes in the bottom plate need to be closer together. But this will do for now. This will keep it nice and solid-ish, just for mock-up. So now I need to figure how I'm going to get the axle under. Axle there, wheels there, has to get in there. Now obviously I'm going to have to start with these shackles off. So both these leaves will be lying on the ground. Roll the axle in either on its own or with the wheels, depending on how much height. If I've got enough height to clear the diff from there, then I'd be able to put the wheels on and roll it all in and then work out how I'm going to attach it. Yeah, you can have a laugh at my expense. Well, I hope that was amusing for everyone. Hey, it was my first time. So now I guess we jack it up, remove the axle stands, lower it down, see where it goes. I'm hoping that it's actually going to be too low because those lowering blocks are huge. And I'd rather have something a bit closer. You know, I don't want the axle that far away from the bottom mounts. So let's do it. So far so good. That's it, just starting to lift off the axle stands now. Here we go. Okay, it's hard to tell because I don't have the fenders on and the running boards. But it's not sloping down like that or that. I think we might be good. So I'm going to go and grab the fender and quickly slap that on. You can see that the wheel's too far forward, so they're definitely going to have to come back a bit. Okay folks, what is going on? How can it still be that high with a 3-inch lowering block? Without the 3-inch lowering block it would be sitting up there. Makes no sense. Could it be that this car originally had really wide or really tall tyres that would fill that gap? Like smaller wheels with big, fat, high tyres. I can't think what else it could be. Main thing is, what do I do to fix it? Do I take a couple of leaves out? I don't want to drop it anymore. That's already 3 inches. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'm not disheartened because everything went together nice. It's completely stock now again. Except for this weird stock massive gap it's got. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I've got quite an interesting day tomorrow planned, which has got nothing to do with Bugsy. Well, it might. You never know. So tune in tomorrow evening, Saturday night, and you'll see what I got up to. So confused. Bye bye.